It really is the perfect storm. On the one hand, this is a rapidly changing enforcement environment. We're seeing new tariffs, as well as the tariffs moving through the courts. On the other hand, it is a clear enforcement priority for the administration. In May of this year, the DOJ's Criminal Division issued new guidance identifying tariff and customs fraud as its #2 enforcement priority. And they've been really putting that plan into action. They've reorganized agencies to prioritize tariff and customs fraud. They expanded the whistleblower rewards program to reward whistleblowers who report customs and trade fraud. And the DOJ established a cross-agency task force focused on tariff fraud and making sure there's robust enforcement in this area. So it really is the perfect storm. What do I mean by customs fraud? We're talking about an intentional act to deceive or defraud the U.S. government. Here we're really talking about CBP, or U.S. Customs and Border Protection, to reduce the amount of customs or duties you owe, or to avoid customs and duties altogether. So we're talking more than just mistakes on your paperwork, but an intentional act with mens rea or intent. What does that look like in practice? In reality, it's really just lying, and there are a lot of ways you can lie on your customs paperwork. You could lie about the classification of the goods, so a different code on the HTS-US. You could lie about the country of origin. You could misrepresent the value of the goods. So there are many ways that you can commit customs fraud, but in the end, it's an intentional act to deceive the US government. Companies that engage in customs or tariff fraud can face significant consequences, including civil or criminal penalties. This includes charges both against companies as well as individual bad actors. And we've actually seen the DOJ bring charges against individuals in a number of recent enforcement actions. A key statute that we're keeping an eye on is the False Claims Act, which comes with treble damages and can cause significant consequences for companies. We're also looking out for whistleblowers, whether they're calling the DOJ or reaching out to CBP. Whistleblowers and whistleblower law firms that are out there acting on contingency saying, I will take your case for free, means there are going to be more and more whistleblowers, which means more and more investigations and risk for companies. Now is the time for companies with U.S. import activities to assess their exposure to customs and tariff fraud, as well as their control environment. I would really think about it in those two buckets. How is your company impacted by this rapidly changing tariff environment? And second, how does your control environment stack up? We're not just talking about policies and procedures, we're really thinking about this as a fraud compliance program. So all of the elements you would expect to see, similar to what you might see in a DOJ evaluation of corporate compliance programs. So tone at the top, third-party risk management, and ideally really moving toward data analytics and monitoring to issue spot and detect misconduct and fraud in real time. I'm Erin Brown-Jones, a white-collar defense and investigations partner and co-deputy office managing partner of Latham's Washington, D.C. office. I've been working with clients for 15 years on compliance, enforcement, and investigation matters, and I love working with clients to be proactive and get in front of compliance matters before they become real issues.